Clover cheese is for those who love life, where everything falls into place and melts away our cares. Clover, for the love of cheese.
Made with love by Clover.
Welcome back, South Africa. Finally, I managed to get her back in the kitchen. And with warmer weather comes lighter meals. Today's recipe is Clover cheese and asparagus sticks. These delicious sticks work perfectly as an entree. Simply throw in a dip of your choice and you'll be on to a winner. Darling, I had you in mind when we made these.
I love these. You know what, Dumi? I love myself a good carb, but also I'm trying to fall in love with asparagus more. So if South Africa wants to get their hands on these asparagus sticks, where do they need to go?
afternoonexpress.co.za and onto a winner.
That's
and
it.
We're basically in Heart Health Month, so this is the reason why we're using asparagus, because it's good for you. It's a green veg, and a lot of people run away from green veg, so we're trying to zhuzh it up and make sure you get the deliciousness of it and not just the, oh my God, it's a green veg.
Do you know what I'm excited about? Is that a lot of people don't understand the value of green vegetables.
No.
The greener the better, number one. I have to have that crunch every time. And also, it's just so good for so much within your body. I know whenever I'm trying to get rid of my little blump, 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 dumps that I love so much, sometimes I want to look lean and trim. You can juice it, you can eat it, you can put it in a soup. Such a versatile ingredient.
So South Africa, you understand why I wanted her back in the kitchen, right? You're putting us on.
And you're also adding cheese there.
Yes, so I'm going to ask you then, I've already started grating the cheese over here. We're using Clover cheese, using cheddar today, this very beautiful brand over here. So what I've done is I'm just grating it up. We're going to wrap our asparagus sticks with some puff pastry. So I'm going to ask you just to unravel that puff pastry there, just sprinkle a bit of flour on it. And then normally what people do is that they would roll the asparagus sticks first and then put the cheese on, making it hard because sometimes it then just gets onto the pan and you get less of it on the actual pastry. So what I'm going to ask you to do is just show South Africa a trick. You're going to sprinkle this cheese onto the puff pastry first.
Okay.
And then roll it down with our rolling pin and then cut it into the strips, meaning that the cheese basically gets into the puff pastry and then it's still going to go nice and golden brown.
I love that. Okay, cool. So as Dumi has mentioned, I'm now going to sprinkle some of this cheese onto my puff pastry, and then all I do is take my rolling pin,
basically just roll it over that.
Out.
Perfect. And then that basically guarantees that none of our cheese is going to be wasted onto that pan. While you do that, I'm going to get started just cleaning up our asparagus. Yeah, so I've just cut off the ends here. Is everything going okay over
Dumi,
there?
what happens if my cheese sticks onto my rolling pin as it just did earlier? I'm now scraping off some cheese.
Well, you don't have to worry. You could actually use some cling wrap if you'd like to, just to put it on top, because the whole idea is we're just trying to get it to stick onto the puff pastry itself, or you can even use that paper itself, that plastic that you've got there, just to help it stick onto it.
So essentially, Dumi, you just keep rolling. It doesn't matter if it gets stuck. Don't fret. Don't be scared. Put some flour, put some cling wrap, or put some of this paper and just keep rolling.
And another thing is, if it does happen to come off, we've still got more cheese, so you can never go wrong with more cheese. So I think that's fine. You've rolled it out perfectly. So you can just cut our strips about 1 centimeter large, or maybe just use your small finger to measure. That's how thick we want it. We don't want it to be too thick.
Okay, we're using our small finger, South Africa, but be careful. Let's not hurt ourselves.
Very thin strips. So while you're doing that, I've got it started on my asparagus here. And all I'm going to do is just drizzle them with a little bit of olive oil and then some salt and pepper. Because what we want is once they're inside, they also still need to cook nicely and cook through, because we want them nice and cooked. And then we're going to season with some salt and pepper.
Nice.
And then I've got some chili flakes, because someone between the two of us here absolutely loves her chili South Africa.
I love some chili flakes, but do you know what I'd also love to add in this? I don't know how, but some garlic flakes or garlic powder. I think that will also just elevate that vegetable.
You could actually just chop up some garlic. Once you've chopped it up, then actually put it onto your asparagus as well, and then just rub it all in. Or even put it onto the strips that you're putting on there right now. Just put it onto once you've put the cheese, put it onto the puff pastry, give it over to me, we roll it around. It basically gets that nice, delicious garlic flavor that you're gonna need on it. So I'm gonna ask you to pass me just two so we can show South Africa exactly what we're talking about. And I'm gonna roll these out so they can see. I've got my asparagus sticks or spears that have already been...
This is such an easy recipe to follow along, Dumi. Already, I feel like it's coming together quite nicely. I don't feel overwhelmed when it comes to what's the next step and am I doing it right? Here, it's just as long as you've got your head head about you, your wits about you, you're following these steps that we have provided on our website, this should be such an easy go-to this weekend.
Especially because people are constantly trying to impress. Yes, we've been out of action for a while, you know, but this gives you an excuse to just impress your friends, be like, look, I learned a couple of tricks while I was on lockdown.
Yes.
So it's perfect for that because it's simple. Make ahead. You put these in the oven, bake them at 200 degrees for 15 minutes. They come out nice and golden brown. And you basically impress your guests, whoever that's there, or if you're trying to find love during lockdown, you can do that too.
I like that. And what kind of dips can we enjoy with this? Because I love to use myself some Clover in terms of, it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's the cheese, whether it's Clover fresh milk, whether it's the Clover bliss, just to put together to make something that's dippable, edible, but also healthy.
You could actually even just make a cheese sauce with the actual cheese.
Oh, nice.
So just make a nice roux, like we normally show South Africa how to make white sauces, just do that. And then you can dip your cheese sticks in some cheese sauce and you're good to go.
That sounds amazing to me. Now, South Africa, please do head over to our social media platforms. Let us know if this is something that you're going to be making at home. They're asparagus sticks. They're quick. They're easy. Something that the entire family can get involved with. But more than anything, we're celebrating spring. So we need some ingredients and recipes that are fresh, that are good for ourselves, and that feed our guts as well.
Yeah, that's the most important thing, that as light and easy to make as this is, it also is very nutritious, very good for you. Clover's got all these nutrients. It's got a range of flavors. You could even use the Clover feta because they've got such a range of different flavors for you to cook with. Now, that's one way to cook a veg and eat it. To see how it's made again, here's a quick recap.
Made with love by Clover.